Hello, moon babies. How are you? It's Molly. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to this video and welcome to my home. This is the fourth installment of our seasonal decorating series where we focus on celebrating the seasons with decor that we have created, upcycled, and repurposed, mostly from garbage. So please come in, and let's make some art magic. The first craft we will embark on is a wreath for the front door, and we will use only the most occult of craft supplies, wooden kebab skewers. I was inspired to create this wreath because I had the opportunity this summer to visit the Satanic Temple in Salem, and their porch is decorated so beautifully with this gorgeous wreath hanging out front. I thought, I need a pentacle wreath. So we're going to rehab a secondhand wreath with a few of these raffia wrapped skewers that we will fashion into a pentacle. Now, you don't have to use kebab skewers. You could use anything that you have laying around, or you might want to forage some sticks from the yard. You could also wrap them with anything textural if you don't have raffia lying around. You could use fabric, you could use twine, or this could be a great project for all of those weird little yarn ends that we have. Is it just me? Does anyone else have a giant box of weird yarn ends? And to do this, I'm securing the raffia with a little dab on the end of the skewer and wrapping until we have something that looks nice, robust, and textural. Now it's time to create our star. I'm going to fasten the star by tying it on with some of these strings of raffia. And we're also going to zhuzh up this wreath a little bit. It has a few little bald spots, and that's fine. I have a whole stash of flowers specifically for this purpose that I have scavenged from other bouquets and wreaths. And we're going to fill it up with some beautiful summery colors. Sunflowers, purple daisies. I love these zappy summer colors, the complementary purple and yellow. That's a happy front door. Now we'll move into the front room. This is where we hang out and read. This is where most of the library is. And I have this sculpture of Diana that I love to dress up for the seasons. And for summer, she is getting a butterfly makeover. These are wings that I've used for many things, whether they be actual fairy wings or a headpiece or costumes. They were originally blue, and I painted them in my color palette with oranges and reds. I recently found these framed butterflies at a thrift store for a song. It says on the back that they're from Costa Rica and they are ethically sourced. It looks like they were somebody's vacation souvenir, and I am happy to give them a place of honor in my front room. I recently acquired these pillows from a thrift store, and they have this beautiful summery, painterly scene on them. It looks like you're looking at a balcony with potted plants. And I thought they would be a fun way to bring out more of the orange and yellow that are in the curtains behind the sofa. And while we're on pillows, I wanted to carry a little bit more of the green from the couch across the room and put something a little less snuggly and fussy on this chair for the warm weather that we're having right now. So I've just tacked a bit of this lovely peachy fringe onto the front of a pillow I already had. What you're seeing now is my hoard of early 90s Victoria magazines. I've been having a ton of fun flipping through these in the evening, looking at all the beautiful fuzz filter photos. So they're going to stay out on the coffee table. And we're going to style it for summer with a really simple but very girly and lovely bouquet of summery flowers and this lovely salmon bone ceramic piece that I picked up on a trip to Alaska last year. And now we're going to dress up the credenza for summer with a stack of our old pals, the vintage zappy yellow National Geographics. And we're going to place a few of these really punchy pink candles. And since this room is becoming a floral palace, it felt like a good time to bust out this Frida painting I'd made years ago from the stash and hang her in the entryway. It's starting to get hot, so Wolfgang has found his shady spot for the early afternoon, and I think we should do the same. Let's go back down to the studio and make a garland for the dining room. I want to bring some solar flair to our summer design, so we're going to cut up some trash and make a sun garland. This is a brown paper bag. I'm going to cut it up, flatten it, and smush some of this yellow ink all over to catch some of those beautiful crinkles and give us some texture. And then I'm going to address the paper with this little sun stamp I carved. And I'm going to use a burnt umber ink. So let's print up a whole page of sunny little faces. I'm cutting them out with some pinking shears. I've made a triangular template for our bunting. I want to make sure that that sun face doesn't get cut off. I have a leftover scrap here of some striped cotton from another pillow/upholstery project. And I'm going to trace the triangle onto the back of this fabric. You could make this bunting any size or any shape that you like. Then I've sprayed some Gorilla Spray adhesive onto the back of the fabric, and I'm going to use it to stiffen this cotton because the material is very thin, very soft. I don't want my bunting to be floppy. So we've cut out the triangles for our bunting. I'm going to zip it through the sewing machine for a little bit of texture and additional strength. And then we'll glue our sun faces to the front, give them a little press, and attach them to a piece of lace. If you are enjoying your time in the Art Witch Cottage today, I would be eternally grateful if you would consider liking this video and potentially subscribing to this channel. And if you love making things and you are about hanging out with other wonderful weirdos, you may also enjoy the massive amount of offerings on Patreon, which at this point I would also like to say this video is brought to you by Patreon Power. I would like to thank every single one of the Moon Babies who supports this channel. Thank you so much. It's an honor to create for you. For garbage, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. And we'll keep it simple and finish dressing up that space with a little posy of dried purple aster. They came from a bouquet that I bought several weeks ago, and they dried beautifully. If you saw the spring decorating video, you will recognize this bowl. It's a paper mache bowl I thrifted and painted the check pattern on the inside. And we're going to create a centerpiece for the dining room table. Now I see lots of shell designs for summer, which I think is brilliant. But in my home, a coastal feeling doesn't really make any sense. But I do have a big stash of watery curio. So I'm putting this centerpiece together, imagining it more as a mermaid bowl, filling it with mermaid treasures. I have driftwood from my walks, my collection of beach glass that I pick up here on the shore of Lake Michigan, and a few other little surprises. These are some very funky grandma chic Fitz and Lloyd porcelain candle holders. I loved the bright colors of the fruit, and we'll finish them with some of these skinny mini peach candles. They remind me of extra large birthday candles. And just like the chair in the front room, I wanted to freshen up the linens in here. On the chaise, I have a remnant of this really beautiful upholstery fabric that I've just zipped up the edges and added a hem. And we're going to plump it up with a few pillows. This green pillow is one from another room. We're just shifting things around. And this is a pillow cover I made. I believe this piece of fabric was originally liturgical. It looks like it was used as an altar cloth. It had a giant watermark in the middle where a vase would have gone. And so I cut off the water damaged part to save the beautiful tapestry and create an interesting pillow. We're going to add just a little bit of summer magic to the kitchen. I have my silver teapot shined up, and this is a bouquet of randos. These are just things laying around in the stash. And y'all have asked me about this before. I like to coffee dye my florals. I don't expect anyone to believe that these are actual florals. And so to make them sculptural and a little more painterly, I like to dip them in coffee and bake them. And as far as baking goes, I put them on a lined cookie sheet and bake them at the lowest temperature your oven will go. Mine is 180, essentially just until they're dry. And if you don't want to go the oven route, you could always use a hair dryer as well. We're going to carry that sunflower magic into the kitchen with a framed vintage painting. I just printed this one out and put it in a frame, and I think it looks lovely up against that green. And one final little kitchen project. I have a dark corner. You'll see it there behind me next to the fridge, and I've been thinking about what to do with it. And I was looking out the window the other night and really enjoying the fireflies. That's one of my favorite parts of summer, and thought, well, what if I made a little firefly lantern? So that's what we're doing here. I have an apothecary jar that I have jammed some of this goldenrod into, and we're going to fish some fairy lights in there, and we'll see what happens. Now, grab yourself a cuppa of iced coffee or lemonade, and let me give you the full tour. Starting at the front door with our wreath, I ended up adding this hanging behind the wreath. It was something I'd made years ago now, but realized that the colors harmonized really well, and I enjoyed the shadow and the texture, so I just popped it on the door right behind the wreath. As you come through the front door, this is the view of the sitting room. I really enjoy having a cup of coffee in here in the morning. The light is so beautiful in the summertime. And speaking of beautiful light in the summertime, this is Hildy's favorite spot in the warmer months. She sunbathes in here for the first half of the day. I've been having a lot of fun playing with these kind of cheeky, chintzy florals. I have a girlfriend whose apartment is absolutely stunning, and she's so skilled at putting together all of the textures of live plants, dried botanicals, and silk flowers that I thought, I want to practice and take a crack at that. This is the Sassy Flirty Aphrodite Game Changer Globe from the book Art Magic. I thought that she was appropriate for this very femmy summer front room. And this is a piece of Italian ceramic. I love this. This was another thrifty find. The strawberries are gorgeous, but what really drew me to it were these goofy little lions. Yes, there is a cookie jar in my front room. Yes, there are cookies in it. Yes, I eat cookies from this jar in my front room. Tell me you're a Taurus without telling me you're a Taurus. And this is just a little tassel, just a little craft project I made with a bird that I found in the stash. Let's go into the dining room. So I usually have some kind of little display on this desk that I painted. And right now it has artifacts from our travels, as well as some of the fun things we've done this summer. So in the dome, there are some souvenir postcards. And I have a picture here of the honey and I from our wedding. It's like a little museum of our summertime adventures. And a closer look at our solar bunting. I think it's really fun. Whenever I see bunting, it feels like a party is just about to happen. And for those of you who are wondering, George has been relocated. They flew off the wall in the middle of the night, which says to me that they would like to live somewhere else. So George the whale is now up on the wall next to a beautiful piece of watercolor done by a local artist. Hanging in the window is a 1930s wedding dress. I love all of the little details and the buttons, and the light coming through this sheer fabric is really gorgeous, and it does a beautiful job blocking just a little bit of extra light when the days are particularly hot. Come on in and let me show you around the kitchen. I've been having a lot of fun thinking about the kitchen as a gallery space, not just a place where everything has to be necessarily about food or feature images of food, but the kitchen can also just be a space for all the things that you love. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this tour and our time together today. I know I enjoyed hanging out with you, and I hope that you get to do something to celebrate summer, something that brings sweetness and beauty into your days. I want to thank you so much for being here, for watching, and being you. And until we speak again, my friends, witch on, witch boldly, and be well. Bye for now.